Gaya, I am so pumped to hear your story because I don't know you that well, but I've heard from so many friends of mine that you are a legend. And I just want to know, take me to a moment in your life where you were maybe at your lowest point. So then we'll see your whole journey.
Feels like almost my whole life was a low point. Just started when in elementary school in Israel, I had no friends and I would be bullied almost every day. I liked baggy clothes all the time, and I was called boy with lady parts, or just constantly bullied for looking like a dude. I was just a little girl, and that just continued. I have autism now. Now I know because I've been diagnosed by my counselors, but before that, it led to a lot of social challenges. And yeah, thinking about it just makes me grieve over the experiences that I could have had.
But you were born in Israel, right? So how old were you when you moved here?
I was born in Santa Monica, but but we moved to Israel when I was 5.5. So, but for 7.5 years, and then we got back, and yeah, that's when I had to homeschool because I just couldn't deal with all the anxieties. At 13, that was my first time I was thinking about suicide, which now I understand that it's like a sin to even do that, because God has a plan for us. Yeah, thank you. God has a plan for us. So.
Yeah. You were just receiving things and identities from other people.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't like that you wanted to be, pursuing a sinful life or anything. It just like that was what was being told to you. And like, how did you feel like, did you start to identify yourself as?
My support system was spiritual therapists who have been thought to do good for me, but every time it just messed things up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. One lady, that was probably one of the lowest points of my life. She spoke in the name of God. She said, because I was muscular and all that, she said, you're transgender. Before that, she said, you're just gay. And your anxiety, your suffering is, and you're not having friends is because you're gay. Nobody knew I was autistic at the time. I was just struggling so much.
What did you think when she said that?
I thought, maybe I didn't think. Maybe I should have thought something instead of like accepting it a few days later. But I thought, well, maybe she's right, because I'm young and my parents are putting me with this woman, so she must be trustworthy.
Right.
I'm 16, she's an authority figure, and she must be right.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in denial. I would go home and I would look at myself in the mirror and I would like try to be feminine, and I would say, you know what, this just isn't working. Started telling myself I'm a boy. And then I thought, oh, maybe I am gay. Like, it just makes sense. I was always wearing baggy clothes, which now, baggy clothes is from overstimulation, from being uncomfortable, from autism. So,
right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I know that you're being so honest, and I just want to say, like, I don't take that for granted. It's really special to, like, hear about your life and where you've been, and I know that you're sharing it because you're hoping other people out there who've gone through similar things will also find the hope and the purpose that you have now as like this wonderful, wonderful woman. I'm trying to even connect in my mind like that person and who you are now which is someone filled with joy. So how did you get from there to here?
Oh my gosh, God. That's definitely, with man this is impossible, but with God everything is possible.
So how did you hear about Jesus?
Yeah, so nobody told me about him, which is a shame. Never heard of him. And then, I heard his name.
Right, but like lots of people think it's just, maybe it's a swear word or something.
Right, which, Yeshu is like Imach Shemo v'zichro, which they said basically to erase his name or
Right.
Condemn his name.
Yeah.
Which it's Yeshua, so from salvation.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people don't realize that in Israel, most people call Yeshua Yeshu,
Yep.
which is a curse word, and they don't even know that
Yeah.
his real name is actually Yeshua Salvation. So
Amen.
yeah, it's actually, I think, something that would be great for more people to be aware of, because it really changes the whole understanding of who he is.
Yeah, you hear a lot of Israelis that I've spoken to say, "Ma ze Yeshu?" Like, what is this, Yeshu? And I'm like,
lo, Yeshua. Yeah.
exactly, Yeshua.
Yeah.
From salvation.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the way I had a counselor who was faith-based, and I didn't know she was faith-based, but apparently she was. And she asked me, "Do you believe in God?" I said, "I believe there's a higher power." She asked, "Did you read the Old Testament?" I said, "Yeah, back in elementary school in Israel." And she said, "Have you considered reading the new one? I really think you should." So when she said that, I, because of my spiritual background, I was apprehensive. I wouldn't meditate, wouldn't do anything. I just wanted to get away from that completely.
Because you'd had bad experiences with like spirituality.
Yeah, when I was 18, 19, I went on a road trip with some, at the time, fruitarians. They would eat only fruit.
Wow.
So we ate only fruit, which was terrible. And we were on this mountain, Mount Shasta, really spiritual mountain with a bunch of hippies, and it was fun, but I was hungry all the time.
Wait, so was that the bad experience with spirituality?
No.
It was too much fruit?
No, but I guess that's a different story for that led me to be a carnivore later. But anyways, I met this shaman dude who had a young woman with him, and he said, "Yeah, we should meet back in LA," and my mom took me to him.
Oh, wow. And your parents were Jewish or Israeli?
Yeah.
Did they practice anything?
Yeah.
They practiced Judaism?
Like the holidays and stuff, but also New Age.
So you had bad experiences with spirituality, so when she told you to read the New Testament, it made sense that you were skeptical.
Yes. Basically what he did was he was the one who sexually abused me.
The shaman?
Yep. And he said he's working with Jesus Christ.
What?
Yeah. So also the lady who told me I'm transgender, she said in the name of God made transgender people like Caitlyn Jenner so you could be myself. So of course I was apprehensive. Anyways, 7 months passed. Within those 7 months, my friend from the LGBT center died from suicide. She was a musician like me. She was 25. She was going through a lot. She was already transitioned. More than 80% of suicides for transgender people is after they transition.
Yeah, sad. Really sad.
Yeah, so it is. I even wrote a song about her suicide, and I called it "Waste of a Life" because she had more. God had a plan, and yeah, that was really hard for me. I didn't know God at the time. So it was 7 months of just pure torture, emotional torture. I was self-harming, and eventually my counselor found out, the faith-based therapist. Eventually she told me that she prays for all her clients, and she's been praying for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she just really, really cared on a deeper level. Just a deeper level. So she kept praying. And then I thought, okay, maybe I should read the New Testament. I started asking her questions about God all of a sudden, because she said, listen, you can take medication, you can try all sorts of things, but the thing that helped me the most was God. And I thought, okay, let me ask her about this. I asked her, and she told me about David and about, Old Testament stuff. So I thought I should start reading this New Testament. I felt this deep hunger all of a sudden to read it, and it was like walking in the desert, and you're really thirsty, and you're like, where's the water? And so that's how I felt when I wanted to read the New Testament. And so I ordered it, but I also printed it out a little bit, the first pages. When I read it, I just saw so many Jewish values, and on a deeper level, it just felt like I was eating when I was reading it. And I didn't do anything else but read the New Testament for a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was feeding you, like it was nourishing you in like the way that you were longing for.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So then what happened when you finished it?
Well, during it was when I got saved. I was watching Ray Comfort, and Ray Comfort, he had this video of this boy. Oh my gosh. His name was Mario, was crying already, and he was Ray Comfort was asking him, what's the source of love? And because Mario was saying, well, love is the source of things, and Ray asked him, what's the source of love? And he said, anyways, they eventually came to the realization that it's God.
Yeah.
And so Ray was walking him through the 10 Commandments, and I was being walked through the 10 Commandments. If I remember correctly, I probably got on my knees because I couldn't stand. That's if I remember correctly. I was crying my butt off. I was crying so much. I felt so much godly sorrow, just like Mario. Ray Comfort called Mario's tears godly sorrow, and that's exactly what I felt.
That was the perfect description. So you didn't even get to the end before you had this like moment with God. And then how did you begin the journey? I mean, that's just for the first step, right? The journey of like becoming the identity and the name that God called for you, which was not that name and identity that was put on you by all these people. What is the true Gaya? Who are you really?
Maybe, and hopefully, I hope that's true, a woman after his own heart.
That is so true. Nothing could be more true about you.
Okay.
I affirm that is 100% so true. You are a woman after his heart, and I've felt that in it's part of your story and just everything you've shared with me. And I want you to share a little bit about the woman in the New Testament that you really resonated with, the particular story, because that also was just so beautiful and moving.
Yes. So basically, for the past 3 days, 4 maybe, I was reading the same thing I just opened it up and I was like, oh, let me read this. And it was the woman who had a bleeding disease for 12 years. And it just felt like God was speaking to me. It was, the whole crowd was pressing in on Jesus. Everybody were basically touching him. But when she touched him, he felt her. He knew who she was. And he wouldn't leave that place without her sharing her testimony. And I know it's scary to share testimonies. I didn't want to share my testimony at all.
Well, you've done an amazing job.
Thank you. Praise God. And you're doing a great job as a moderator. Yeah, so...
And now you write music about God, right? And so
Yeah.
you've like poured that love into your music. Do you have any of your music online? Can we link to some of it so people can check it out?
Yes, please.
Okay,
I
yeah.
would love that.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah, thank you. It's on Spotify. I have a song. I love quoting one of my songs. It says, "He's not your sugar daddy, he's God. He's not just anybody, he saved you against all odds." So it's about praying diligently, and I love that song.
I love that, and it's just so incredible, and I hope that so many people are gonna watch this and be inspired to ask God those questions, ask him to show you the truth, because he wants to transform your life. And this has just been such an incredible, incredible blessing to hear your story, and we need you guys to share it with the world and to spread the good news that's transformed Gaia's life, that's transformed my life, and I hope yours, or maybe yours soon. Maybe you'll be the next one telling your story on So Be It. Bye, guys.